Hola amigos and bienvenidos. Welcome back to another episode of La VIDA VERDE Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Human, and today is our first ever on-location podcast. We are here outside the town of Naranjo at the farm of my good friend Paul Zink, Finca Madre. And Paul Zink is an agroforester. He is a fruit collector, and he is the founder and CEO of Jungle Foods and the Jungle Project, which is a for-profit, non-profit hybrid organization centered around trees, trade, and training around fruit trees. So it's going to be a great show, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, Paul Zink, welcome to La Vida Verde Podcast.
Welcome to Finca Madre.
We're here. This is your farm, or why is it called Finca La Madre? First of all,
Finca Madre is a family farm owned by my mom and my brother and I, and we've been collecting all the fruit trees we could find, and just kind of like a homestead. But yeah.
And how big is it?
2.5 hectares or 6 acres.
Nice. And we're outside what's the town? Local towns are
Grecia, Naranjo, Atenas, kind of in the middle of all those.
Okay.
North of Alajuela, about 20 minutes of the airport area.
Okay. Well, it's beautiful. And last time I was here, there was a lot of fruit trees, but I think there's a lot more now. They're definitely much bigger. I think it's been like 10 years since I...
Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So last time I saw you was at Envision. We were presenting and cutting up fruit for people.
That's right.
What were you doing there? How was that?
It was good. Yeah, I was doing some presentations on my company and agroforestry work, and it was good to see you there and help out with
the fruit.
Yeah, the fruits.
Okay, so let's start from, first of all, where are you from originally? What brought you to Costa Rica, and how long have you been here? Because you've been here, I think, as long as I have, maybe.
I've been about 2007. I showed up, did an internship at Earth University, and then moved back 2011 full time, and yeah, it's been ever since.
And Earth University is
it's a tropical agricultural school based in the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, and they focus on a lot of sustainable practices and the traditional practices as well. So it's a good, one of the best. I call it the Harvard of tropical ag schools, and so I learned a lot and was able to be in classrooms with students from 45 plus different countries all over South and Central America and some parts of Africa. So it was a good experience.
And so you had heard about it beforehand. So you heard about it when you're from the US, right?
Yeah, I was doing an internship in college, and I went to school, Antioch College in Ohio.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot you went to Antioch.
And I wanted to go to this university, which is an agricultural school, but I was studying film, and I called them up and they said, you're not an agriculture student, you can't come here. So I went to their foundation, which is in Atlanta. They have an Earth Foundation where they're raising funds, and I called them and I said, hey, your videos are pretty outdated. Can I go do an internship and trade at the university, and I'll make some videos for you? And they said okay. So we got to go and be like the only film student ever to really stay at Earth University. And I'm not the best student. I'm actually the worst student. And so I was able to go and learn, ask the 5 most important questions to the different directors and different departments, and learn a lot in a short period of time.
And that's where you got interested in fruit trees, or?
I've always been allergic to things, and so since a young age, I've had to read what's on the ingredients of everything. So I'm allergic to those nuts in it. So imagine an 11-year-old reading the long paragraph of stuff at the food aisle. So I was, at a young age, confused what the food was, and then being from New York, I didn't see where it was grown. And so when I got to college, I was just really curious. My curiosity to go and find out where it comes from. How does food grow? And so I studied New Zealand, willing workers on organic farms.
Mm-hmm.
And many different countries later, I realized agroforestry, agriculture with trees was the best, easiest, lowest amount of energy in, highest energy out.
Mm-hmm.
So I dedicated my studies mostly to agroforestry.
Totally.
Yeah.
Perennial food forest. And so how many different kinds of fruit trees would you say you have here?
Oof, I have to do another count. Last I counted
Rough
5 years ago was 100, and I've just keep adding every year. So I don't know, not over 200 fruit trees, but definitely over 200 edible species of including all the edible leafy greens, perennial greens, and the root tubers, turmeric varieties, ginger varieties, things like that. So yeah, they're my Pokemon. I got to catch them all. all the edible, useful plants, and it's just it's a good thing to collect.
I think we're both on the same train.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I know you mostly as, and I think most people in our circle know you mostly as the breadfruit guy. Like, why? How did you become the breadfruit guy?
That's but I'm all about collecting all the different fruit trees, but breadfruit stood out to me as one of the missing links to fixing a lot of the world's problems with hunger, malnourishment, climate change, the poor treatment of farm workers. Breadfruit can be a tool for independence, for economic sovereignty and food sovereignty for so many different communities, especially island nations around the world in the tropics that are importing most of their food. One breadfruit tree can feed a family for 75 years, meeting all their carbohydrate needs. So why are we planting more breadfruit? And so I went down that rabbit hole, and they're seedless, they're difficult to propagate. And so I got in with this company that was really good at propagating it, and I learned many different techniques. All of the above are good, and started a nonprofit /for profit I can talk about later. Yeah, dedicated to that.
During my jungle foods, jungle project.
Yeah.
We can talk about it right now. Talk about it.
Got the jungle foods representation here.
Nice. Oh, I like that shirt. With a breadfruit on the back.
Is that focused?
So, what is Jungle Foods, and how did it kind of come about? It came out because you wanted to spread more knowledge about breadfruits and get these more propagated around the world so that to empower farmers, it sounds like.
It can feed so many people. Why isn't it in the food system? It's such a great food, so nutritious, all these things got going for it, but so why isn't it everywhere? Farmers aren't growing it, and people don't know what it is, and so there needed that. It's been the chicken and the egg the whole way, because we have to convince farmers to plant it, and they say they will plant it, but the first question, unanimously, all the farmers ask is, who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy the fruit when it's being produced? I'll plant the tree, I'll plant a bunch of them, but who's going to buy it? And so I realized I did a bunch of interviews with farmers, Gustavo and I, my partner. We realized that farmers don't need a handout, they need a consistent, fair buyer of their produce. And so we started Jungle Foods to kind of be that brand that could be purchasing the fruit, and the profits go to plant more trees and train more farmers. And so it's like this for-profit, non-profit hybrid.
You purchase it from the producers, and then what?
And then we make different products out of it. So we started making chips at first, and then flour. Grinding into flour allows us to make pasta, crackers, pancakes.
So what do you see? Like, do you see this reaching into like households around the world, like getting into like all the products, like in Jungle Foods? Like, are you interested in wholesaling? Or are you actually like a retailer? Like, you want to be retailing?
We've been doing B2B for a while, and
what's B2B?
It's business to business. So we're going to do B2C in the future, business consumer. For now, though, it's a lot lower risk, and we find partners that are wanting to make a new product, and so we can supply the flour, help them with R&D, and they can launch, market, and distribute the product. And we just want to be sold. So we have worked on a pasta recently, and we're waiting for the time to launch that. It takes an investment.
And so that's naturally gluten-free.
Yeah. High in dietary fiber, tons of minerals. It's a complete protein, having all the 12 essential amino acids.
Breadfruit is a complete protein?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I always thought for a long time that durian was the only fruit that was a complete protein.
It contains all essential amino acids for human life.
So it's super nutritious.
Yeah. I mean, it was the staple crop in Polynesia for 11,000 plus years, really. I mean, it's kind of the staple crop you think of the Polynesian relaxed hammock life was made possible because of different plants that are so abundant, like breadfruit. You plant once, and then for the rest of your life, you're harvesting all the carbohydrates. You can plant a hectare of rice or a couple breadfruit trees, and you wait and you just harvest for a long time. So you don't have that fertilizing, tilling that rice or wheat takes.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. So.
And do you have to plant like multiple, like, because I know with a lot of fruit trees, they kind of have a season.
Mm-hmm.
Can you plant them in a way that they're planted in like succession where they are dropping at different times? Because it's hard to get fruit trees to produce year round.
Yeah, you can do that to a certain extent, but it's always going to be to the rainy season or dry season, they'll produce more or less. And
so mostly you would, and they have one harvest a year?
There's 2 harvests usually, sometimes 3.
2 or 3 a year. And so then I guess the main thing is to store it would be like drying it or producing chips and storing those.
Flour,
dehydrating, stuff like that. Interesting. So I know in Hawaii, they call it ulu. I used to spend a lot of time on Maui, and there's a place on Maui called Ulupalakua.
Oh, yeah?
Wait, do you know what that means?
No.
So it literally means the place where the breadfruit ripens, because it's way up the mountain, and they would harvest the breadfruits down around the island, and by the time they got up to this spot, the breadfruits would be ripe. So it's called Ulupalakua, the place where the breadfruit ripens.
I guess is the first to ripen, then it would go down the mountain sometimes or go up. Because, in these islands, they have like a belt,
right,
basically wrapping the whole island with these agroforestry systems, and breadfruit being them, and they'll be going up 100 meters or 200 meters or so on sea level. And so that'll kind of have different succession for harvesting times.
Right. So they just kind of plant it along different parts of the island, and then that's how they eat. Yeah. Really interesting. Okay, and so like people can purchase trees from you as well? Like you live here year round, or what's your...
I've lived here for about 12 years year round, and recently I've been traveling a lot more.
For the Jungle Project.
Yeah, Jungle Foods, Jungle Project, and expanding to other countries. And so I have a nursery here though still, and obviously lots of fruit. I come back and that's the best part about a food forest. You come back and there's more fruit than before, and so yeah. I have fruit trees. It's usually I focus on the rare fruit trees that you can't find anywhere else. So there's another nursery, like a grafted mango or avocado or lemon. I'm not worrying about that. I'm doing the weird things that you can't find that easily, because it's just what I needed. That's kind of how my nursery started. So I need best advice I can give to anyone trying to start a new piece of land: make a tiny nursery first thing you do, and just plant all the cutting seeds you want in that little nursery. You take care of them. They're climatized already. They go in, and so that's what I did here. And then I would have 20 rare Champadex seeds, and I only need 3. I only have space for 3, and so I'd sell the other 17 to friends like you, or gift them to folks that trading. And I learned pretty early on though that gifting trees doesn't work. My first 10 breadfruit trees, I gave away. Okay. I gave them away. I thought, I'm going to give these trees to people. I felt so proud of myself, and they all died.
Oh, because people didn't have the passion.
They didn't have any value. Them. There's zero value.
Right, so you have to give them to people who or like...
Even then, no, I gave them to farmers that knew what they were doing. They have all the things, and someone just came by with a machete and chopped it, but if it's worth $20 at least or something, they'll go tell their guy, like, hey, don't cut that down. That's $20 worth.
So your model is kind of similar to VIDA VERDE. It's like you have like a farm where you're passionate about growing your fruit trees, but also you have rental spaces for people.
Just one really nice space.
So you're not looking to do retreats. You're just a nice space. People.
If you want to do a retreat here, or anyone else, please, it's 20 minutes from the airport, an hour from Chepe to San Jose. And
you have what do you have for facilities?
This right here, the really nice outdoor kitchen. I put all my energy into the fruit trees. Literally, the structures are still standing, which is good. It's good.
So yeah, people, you focus on your Airbnb rental to keep money coming in, so you can keep the fruit tree, keep the garden job.
So a lot of banana trees too. That's been a constant for a while, in the fruit trees, and then some fruit here and there. I used to sell at a farmer's market, but
okay. So what, do you have a favorite fruit?
Well, there's the favorite fruit, and then there's the fruit that you grab on the desert island.
What's your favorite fruit right now, this week? Do you have one? Well, there's a bunch here.
I think it was enjoying the achachairus, Missouri.
Oh yeah,
big bowl right here. You want to try one?
Sure, thank you.
It's in the Garcinia. It's a New World mangosteen relative, and let's get some ASMR here. Hold on. You focus on that.
That's really delicious. I love achachairo. I actually have one at my farm too. I got it from a seedling from Punta Mora. Where'd yours come from?
Maybe, I don't remember actually. I might have gotten one from a Bolivian woman.
You have a lot of like interesting trees. Every time I come here, you're telling me about something new. What was the thing you were telling me about today? Like the garden, that wasn't a tree, it was a plant, but you're always getting plants from different places. What do you think is the like most unique plant you have here?
Elaeagnus latifolia, silverberry.
Silverberry.
Yeah, it's probably one of the rarest. It's usually in like online literature I found it's only found wild in Indonesia.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, someone brought me some seeds from Thailand, and I think they brought them in legally.
We think so. We hope so.
They were rare.
Okay, well, anything else? What else do we want to share? What's new for you? What's anything good in life? Like,
we've started working in Dominican Republic with breadfruit farmers there, and
so you're international now.
Yeah,
and you're only where? So where are you now? Like Costa Rica and Dominican Republic, but with plans to go.
Plans to go other places. Yeah.
And can people buy your products? And they can't buy your products right now, or they can.
Not on a retail scale, unless there's a couple markets in the country that can buy. I think Tina Masta is the Selva market there. You can buy the flower, but it's a chicken or the egg. Like I said, we have such a little amount of productions right now. We can't do large sales, and so we have to get farmers interested, then get some market approval, find out if there's a market pull, then we can go back to the farmer and say, okay, we're going to buy some, we'll make some product, and we sell a little bit of that to see if there's that market approval, and then go back for more. And so right now we've kind of been going this like back and forth stage and scaling every time, and it's difficult to do it organically though. So we split up. We have a fiscal sponsor, Kiss the Ground.
Yeah, our friends in Venice, California.
Yeah, they're the best, and we've been able to raise grants and donations through their nonprofit funnel to our farming training and tree planting program. So that's.
So how long has it been since you? So because this is the problem is you've just started this project, and it takes years for trees to grow and produce. So is this the problem? Is you've assimilated the trees, but they're not quite producing yet, or you're still looking for more farmers to offer space and grow the plant, grow the fruits?
No, there's lots of farmers ready to go. It's just we need funds to be able to go and distribute the trees, train the farmers. We need grants, donations.
Okay, grants and donations. And how can people look at and tell people how can they give you Jungle Project money?
Jungleproject.com, and there's a link there. A donate button goes straight to Kiss the Grounds. It's easier to get to our specific donate button like that.
So it's a 501c3. So if they're in the United States, for instance, it's a tax write-off.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, and that sounds like a lovely thing to donate to.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, one tree can feed a family of 4. Imagine what 20 trees could do for a small community. And then replanting hundreds of these trees to be able to also be able to sell the surplus. And so that creates economic diversity for them as well as diversity in their farms. So we're all about agroforestry, no monocultures. And
just why don't you, for people that don't know, what is agroforestry?
Agroforestry is agriculture with trees. Just pretty simple. Usually something that's not a monoculture, and it can be kind of watered down, not that diverse, 2 tree systems, but they're also better than just a monoculture.
Right.
Coffee with some shade plants growing around them. That's an agroforestry system, but there's many different complexities to that. Like this is one large agroforestry system.
Right, because you have multiple diversity of,
It's not necessarily for production. This is more like a germoplasm collection of different fruit trees.
Right, kind of the way I see mine too.
I wanted to touch on like the feeling you get when you're inside a food forest. If you've ever been, at different people's friends' farms, you land at Punta Mona or some really amazing food forest of a local farmer, or just even the grandma who has got her garden with the lemon and the tamarind and all the different things right there, densely packed together. You feel comfortable, your shoulders relax, you feel kind of taken care of because you're in a system that's being taken care of by humans, and then the system's taking care of humans.
Right. That's one of the things I think I've noticed more than anything about my life at Finca VIDA VERDE is like the amount of like, there's no words that can no words that can really describe the comfort you get when you're surrounded by food and you know that there's food around. And it's this kind of unconscious thing that I think people tend to walk around feeling most of the time, is like this kind of unconscious fear of where's my next meal going to come from, or how am I going to get water, especially if you don't know much about trees or growing food, because then it's even like, I feel like that you're in a vulnerable space. Like if this whole system, our current modern system crashed, for instance, which God forbid, but if it did, like there'd be a lot of people that would not know what to do, where to go, how to eat. Like it would get weird for people. But like I think that's where that comes from. So when you are in a place where people are taking care of the land and the fruit trees are full of fruit, then I think that for me, that's what I experience. Yeah. Okay. And so, you're a big TikToker.
I kind of fell off.
You fell off the TikTok way?
Yeah, I had fun with it for a while, but I'm not doing it as much. Maybe I'll pick it up again.
What is it?
At Paul Zink with the line on the bottom part.
Paul Zink _ ZINK.
The long line at the bottom.
Not ZINC, not like the mineral. Yeah. Like the zinc, like the man. Paul Zink. Okay. Well, thank you, Paul. It's been super fun, and I guess we'll continue to follow Jungle Foods. If you're interested in supporting Jungle Foods, you can follow his instructions and go to Kiss the Ground. No, Jungle Foods.
Jungleproject.com.
Jungleproject.com. You can follow Paul Zink and
Jungle Project CR on Instagram and stuff like that.
And we'll be posting about the trees that we got from Paul. We'll do some posts about that on our own Instagram, Finca _Vida _Verde. You can follow the VIDA VERDE podcast on YouTube. We also have a Patreon because we also need support to keep our technology. We're using minimal technology here, folks. We need better technology to support our podcast at patreon.com, La VIDA VERDE podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Human. This is Paul Zink. On behalf of La VIDA VERDE podcast, thank you, Paul, for having us.
Welcome.
All right. Ciao, everybody. Pura vida.